My parents were of different faiths. I see religion in a very broad sense. I see it as a way of living. I see it as the way you treat people and the way people treat you, and sort of like a code of value and honor.
I'm an atheist, so I don't believe in spirituality. I don't believe there's something out there telling me how to live my life, because I think being a good human being, it's sort of, you're born that way. So I don't need a book to tell me.
I'm here on Sundays, and I love being here on Sundays, and I very much identify as a member of the Christian community. But on weekdays, I'm often at home reading books on Buddhism. I have books on Hinduism. I explore yoga in my spare time. And I take a lot of what I get from that and I bring it back with me to my church.
The church itself can drive me crazy at times, but I think I know myself as a spiritual being, and that's going to always drive who I am, because that's about my life. It keeps me living, keeps me sane in a very insane world at times.
Spirituality, I think you can certainly experience it outside of organized religion, and I think the difficulty that organized religion is having at this point is that many people find spiritual nourishment outside of a traditional church setting.
I grew up with my mom always bringing me to church on Sundays. But as I got older, that kind of strayed away from my life, not because I didn't want to, but just because I was so busy. But I do have that spiritual figure of God in my life.
Yes, I consider myself to be a spiritual person because I believe that we are placed in the world by a creator that wants us to be kind and loving to one another.
I go to church every once in a while, but I wouldn't define myself as religious or spiritual. I consider myself to be open-minded. I don't necessarily have just one belief. I believe that everything has a reason for when it happens, and I don't necessarily know every answer to it, but I do believe there's something.
Canada's more spiritual than religious. I think we can practice, and it's not about, oh, I'm a better Christian than you. We don't talk about religion like that. We just sort of, okay, I practice what I want to practice. It's not about I need to throw it in your face.
The progress from religion to spirituality is one that is doing a lot of good in the world. It's opening a lot of people's minds to other ways of thinking. It's a much less rigid mindset for a lot of people. And it's one that sort of involves dialogue.
There's so many outlets and there's so many places that you can get together. I know my friends, they're Christian, they get together, they have an online kind of little forum place. I'm not too sure exactly where they go, but they discuss religion on a regular basis. It appears in all of their social media posts.
I do think that there's a place for a religion in this country. From what I know, right and wrong, it's been through religion and what my mom taught me and what I learned in church. And I think without that, I don't think I'd be the person I am today.
You start to become aware of the fact that we all die, and mortality, and you start to see your own weakness a lot more, I think. I mean, right now I'm in the prime of my life. I'm not as aware of it, but I think when you start to see your own failings, your own frailty, whatever you want to call it, you start asking even more questions that religion has traditionally offered a lot of answers to.
I'd say that we're going more towards more informal ways of engaging with faith, and I think churches, when it comes to buildings and logistics, they're entering some difficulties in that respect as well. So I think we're moving more towards a sort of informal way of building community, I guess.
For me, church is boring because you don't necessarily get to relate much to people. It's just one person talking and you're just sitting there listening. So I think church would be better if it related more to the people, allowed the people to come into it.
And being part of a worshiping community helps me to remind on the days that I don't feel very good about the world or myself, that there is hope, and hope is a possibility for a new world.
My hope is that religions will have much more of a voice, or spiritual people in the public debate about matters like accepting Syrian refugees, about reconciliation with Aboriginal people, about taking care of the poor in our society.
I would hope that there was less division going forward in terms of places of worship. I would think that there might be maybe one place that has different services for different religions, maybe perhaps during the course of a day, so that there's a common place that people can go that they all identify with and they all kind of rally behind. But it represents their differential views.